This is about heroes. Now, come on now.
It happens.
You guys are terrible. All right, now, you need to be put on the spot. All
Okay.
right, so, but before you do, we did hear from Brian. So what, well, I guess this is more of a psychological question, I guess. So get ready for this. No, I'm just kidding. And everybody that's here can answer that. It's a vet. That would be the three of you. Psychologically speaking, I guess, or just in your own mind's eye, what makes you want to actually defend? First of all, why did you ever want to defend the United States and become an Army person, Marine, National Guard, what have you? Number one, that's the first part. Okay, that's the first part. Mm-hmm. Why you wanted to, and second of all, I guess why you're willing to sacrifice your life for other people when so many people seem to want to take the easy way out. And, you know, it's like, I guess being a vet in a way really exemplifies what it means to be united, the United States. And when you're in the military, I'm guessing you're pretty close to your friends and unit. But what does America mean to you enough that you were willing to put your life on the line? And when you look, you can look at the audience because, and what, you know, in the experiences you went through, would you do it again? I guess this is sort of a follow-up. And I'm gonna like all three of you to say your thoughts on that. But I know one thing, it takes a very special person to do that.
Well, if I could, I'll go first here and say that unlike, you know, Brian, who knew from a very early age he wanted to be a Marine, or Kate, who had a long familial history of you know, service in her family, I wasn't that guy. So I enlisted for a reason a lot of people do, I think, these days, is I wanted the college money. I knew we were in a time of war, so right. I knew I had a good chance of going. But I 100% enlisted just to get job training and college money. I'm from southwestern PA, grew up in a hard-working coal mine, steel mill family. I didn't want to do that for myself, so I did it to better myself. However, when I got to the military, so in the beginning I didn't do it for all these great reasons that I was so patriotic. But after I got there, they really teach you a lot about who we are as human beings and what it takes to have a nation like this and the type of individual it takes to keep this nation safe. So later on I became, you know, I was a very hard-charging soldier, and I did everything I could to make sure I was the best soldier I could be for myself and the country. And I think I did that. A lot of it was because of the history they teach you, and you really, kind of the question, to echo back on your original question a little while ago, you know, the similarity to Independence Day, and you know, when you have freedom and when you don't have freedom, is I really came to value the freedoms that we do have because of the warriors that came before me. So I wanted to do my best to uphold that tradition and in their honor become a good warrior myself.
Right.
So.
Well, that sounds good to me. So how about, before we go to Brian, why don't we ask Kate to answer those questions?
Okay.
Thought process on the whole thing. And then you can answer the question, who's better looking, him or him?
I already answered that one. I'm biased.
Oh, you're biased? Yeah. What about the lady in blue? Maybe she could answer that question. The young lady. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
She's also Team Brian.
Yeah.
Why would you be Team Brian?
She's crazy, that's why.
Oh, boy. Okay, I don't know the answer to that one, but go ahead with the other questions.
Like I stated before, I joined because of a family tradition, but you know, to stay in and keep going becomes more of a process because of the people that come before you that you find to be someone you want to emulate, and as well as because you come close with individuals that you feel it's a family, and whether or not you actually like or don't like the person there, you're still close and you still want to protect one another, and it becomes more of protecting that family unit and also protecting your family that is left behind here.
Right. So what is the one thing you would like Pittsburghers, Americans, and anyone that watches this online to know about what it means to be a veteran, what it means to take that ultimate sacrifice and be willing to put your life on the line. What would you want people to know about that? What do you think that the American people might need to know that they don't know? What's missing in the equation? Anything?
I think a lot of times veterans are put on a pedestal, as they should, but at the same time, they view it as they're getting up and going to work in the morning just like everybody else.
Okay.
So that's...
So do you feel that like myself and others think of you too high somehow?
No, sir. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Right.
as ourselves.
Okay.
We view it as we're getting up, we're going to work in the morning, whether or not we love our job or we don't love our job. You know, that's...
Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's hear comments from Brian, who's in some kind of a contest with Tony here. I don't understand.
There's no
that.
contest, sir.
Oh,
No contest
that's
at
kind
all.
of mean.
I mean, right off the bat, it's Marine versus Army. There's just no.
Hey,
way
wait a
that's-
minute. Yeah, I will tell you this. No offense, but my favorite branch of the service is.
The Marines.
I rest my case. No offense.
I'm done taking it.
I'm
I
a
didn't
big
have to do
fan.
any work compared to what you did.
But wait a second, you
Mine
chose
is-
to put Army on your left and your right, though. Well,
Well, you know.
No, he
you
chose to
have
put a
have-
good-looking guy and a good-looking girl to his left and right. He put the ugly jarhead on the end.
Oh, what's ugly jarhead?
Me.
You're not ugly
What's
jarhead.
what was the question?
Mine is the
I wasn't
Navy.
paying attention.
oh,
I can't. What was the question?
The question was why you chose to enlist, and then why you
Right.
continued to serve after you got out.
You know, and why would you
Oh,
put yourself, you know, in harm's way like that? What causes one to do that?
Okay, well, again, that's all I ever wanted to be growing up. That's what my family knew I was going to be. That's everybody I ever
But
knew.
I mean, but why? Though?
Okay, I'm getting there.
Oh,
Give me a
get
chance,
there
you know.
already, man.
For Brian. Are the Marines really tough, as they say?
It depends.
All the services are tough.
Yeah,
because they have
it
to be.
depends. It's more mental than it is physical. They kind of boot camp and stuff. They kind of break you down and make you into a Marine. So it's a little mental tough more than physical.
Actually, took hot wings.
I eat them all, just
Yeah, that's right.
digest
He rips
it
them
all.
straight- No, I'm teasing.
like owl
Well,
pellets.
now, before we get to him, because we want to hear about Vets for Vets, real quickly, wounded 3 times, correct? Come on, get
Woohoo!
there
8
already.
minutes. All right.
And
Anyways,
he's taking like 3 or 4.
so I joined because I wanted to. I wanted to be, and be honest with you, my older brother was in the Army when I joined. When I joined the Marine Corps, and I was proud of him. My dad and his brothers have all served in the Army in the Vietnam era.
Right.
My grandfather was a medic in World War II, so yeah, I mean there is a family tradition, and I always viewed it as a you know, something that you could be proud of and that you could hang a hat on at the end of the day. But when I got in, I automatically fell in love with being a Marine. It was like a religion to me more than a job. I mean, I lived, breathed, and bled Marine Corps. That's all I was. And like Tony said earlier, that yeah, I do care for this country, and I'm a patriotic person, but it come down to the fact that it was the man to the left and right of me is why I volunteered to go to my second tour, because my contract was up, but there's no way I wasn't going without my boys going without me.
Right.
So-
Now,
I have a question for Brian.
go ahead.
Are the Marines really tough, as they say?
It depends.
All the services are tough.
Yeah,
because they have
it
to be.
depends. It's more mental than it is physical.
Well, actually,
They kind of boot camp and stuff. They kind of break you down and make you into a Marine. So it's a little mental tough more than physical.
Actually, he's so tough, he actually chews the bones off the hot wings.
I eat them all, just
Yeah, that's right.
digest
He rips
it
them
all.
straight- No, I'm teasing.
like owl
Well,
pellets.
now, before we get to him, because we want to hear about Vets for Vets, real quickly, you were wounded 3 times, correct?
No, twice.
Okay, twice. Can you explain a little bit about, but you have like 3 Purple Heart, 2 Purple Heart, something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Can you explain how that happened? I'm not that traumatic part of it. I don't want to upset you or anything, but give us what you can, if anything.
well,
what happened
the
exactly?
first tour, I got my leg broke,
Okay.
which was no big deal. It's a broken leg
It's
or
still a
whatever.
big deal, but go ahead.
But so that was the most traumatic part of that was leaving
Right.
without the rest of my men. Like I had to leave. I tried. I was still in country for I think 2 weeks before they flew me out of there. I was trying to fake it and walk on a shattered leg. But then the second time I was hit with an IED and you know, like the famous IEDs or whatnot. But
I heard about that.
so and that. But unfortunately, that happens every day or whatever. It becomes very common. So it's I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question without getting into too much detail.
I guess what I was saying is, I'm guessing at some point you did your first tour, and then you said you wanted to go back and protect men. So my guess it has to do with basically self-sacrifice once again. Sound like to me.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't see it that way.
You may not see it that way, but I do.
I see it as like Kate said, it's family.
Right, it's family, but you get my point, though.
Right. Even that son that's a pain in your butt, if he, if he was standing in front of a bus and you had a chance to push him out of the way and take it yourself,
of course, you would.
So, same thing.
But would you protect him? Because I know you could keep picking on him because he won that.
I'd give my life for him.
I know, I would too. He's a good man. Now let's put him on the spot. You have about 3 minutes. I hate to do that, but it's time constraint. Now, I want to mention to all of you, this is important. We can always do a podcast. I do a podcast on www.talkshoe.com. If we do that, we can talk about anything and everything, and it doesn't even have to be G-rated, just in case any Marines accidentally make a mistake, but we won't go there. But it could also be longer versions. So tell us in the time you have left all about Vets for Vets and why you're involved.
Okay, well, Vets for Vets is a peer support organization run and founded by Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. And what we do is get together and provide the services that either a vet doesn't feel comfortable getting from the VA or feels like he would be better off if he was speaking with another veteran. So, if I have an issue that I don't want to talk about with Al because, Al might be a psychiatrist or whatever, but he's never been to Iraq or he's never been in my shoes. I can talk to Brian, who's been in same or similar situations that I am. We do that through local support groups as well as weekend retreats. The weekend retreats are completely free of cost. Well, everything is free of cost, but the weekend retreats are free of cost, and they include, your transportation to and from the location, your reward for the entire weekend, all the activities we do, and you really get to meet a lot of interesting people, like, people who want to weekend with you. You guys love this hour, right?
Yeah, you guys are pretty good.
Yes, I love
So-
this
Pretty
hour.
good.
Yeah, but the Vets for
You
Vets.
gonna come back in November?
We'll come back in November.
I don't know about him. He may not because you got him mad.
No, we're bringing him back. He's coming.
No, he's mad at you. He's mad at you because you had that lady. You paid that woman to say that you were the better looking one, didn't you? Didn't you? You paid her off, right?
I could.
You gave her a couple of chicken wings.
See, I gave her a bunch of chicken wings.
Yeah,
but
and
anyway,
you didn't
so-
give her a hamburger, didn't you?
No. Any veterans
Okay,
that are
guys,
interested in Vets for Vets, though, is www.vets.us. And you'll find my contact information, Brian's contact information. You can contact any of us. So.
And now the other thing is, if this is okay with you, and I'll have to talk to you off here, but if it's possible, on one of my websites, web blogs, whatever you want to call it, I can put a direct link to Vets, not Wets. I'm drunk and I don't even drink. Vets, that's Vets. Like you have a veterinarian or a vet. That's right. Vets for Vets.
US.
.us. .us. Okay. Well, pretty much. I usually close down, but before I close down, what's your final thoughts?
Do you want to give me some subject matter?
Anything. Just say, hi, how you doing? Who's the better looking one? I don't know. Throw something out there. Just say hi, good night.
Team Brian, throwing that out.
Oh, gosh. Your turn.
Well, I just want to say
Remember, you got about 20
I enjoyed this show, and I really appreciate our vets being here with us.
That's right. Amen
And
to
this
that.
gives us a chance to be face-to-face with them and to thank them personally. And I'm glad they're coming back in November. I'm looking forward to seeing them again. And thanks again for serving our country and keeping us safe.
All right, let Tony hurry up, say something.
All right. Hey, thank you all for having us and listening to what we had to say.
What about him?
Brian, what you got? All right, quick.
I had a blast. Thank you very much.
What about you, Kathy? You're here.
I enjoyed everything.
Oh, you did?
I enjoyed everybody, and yous are both good looking. So,
Hey!
But
Hey,
if you
good, the
had to
contest is
choose,
over.
if I had to choose, that'd be different. That would be hard. I'm sorry.
All right, it's time to close, people. You can get me in trouble. Remember that you and humanity really does matter.
tickets to a widescreen movie in